So I've got nothing else to add here. Let's talk about mermaid for a minute. Alright, so this is the first year in like at least 3 years I'm not doing mermaid full time. And there are a couple of reasons for that. University is biting my ass, mostly because I took some summer classes, which is cool. I really like the classes, but it makes it really hard. And also because I just came out of like a year-long, very intensive program, and I wanted to not be too intense. And that came for the good because I had a very hard week on multiple fronts, and I think I would have gave up and I would have gone mad at myself. So I'm really happy that I decided this year to not do mermaid, but I still really like to draw mermaids, so here is going to be like my unofficial quick 2021 mermaid. So let's go. Okay, for the mermaids, I also this year wanted to put myself into a mindset of drag because I really like the art of drag and drag queens, drag kings. All of this is so cool to me, and with the season of Drag Race that just ended, and also the fact that I just always drew mermaid at least for 2 years as drag queens because that's what I think is cool. I wanted to go with that inspiration this year. For the first mermaid I drew, it was kind of tough to figure out how to draw, but I wanted like kind of an undersea clown. I thought it was just like cool. So that's what I went with, and then I worked on the line art, and the proportions are weird, but also that was kind of the goal. Like at first the two of the arms were way too big, but I made it so they were like the same size, even though they were like too big for her body. It was fine because technically she's like four armed, so it's cool. And for this color scheme, I started with the face, which was cool too. It was really fun to work on the face. I wanted to give this kind of Marie Antoinette kind of vibe. So she has like a paler skin on the face, but it's not that noticeable. It's just like a little more. And I would ham on those colors. I wanted to make sure that it was as drag and clowny as I could. So a lot of color in the corner, like on the crease. I wanted a bold, dark lip. And yeah, that's basically also a pink nose. And that's how I worked on the face. And then I had, on the sketch, as you can see, I had all the colors pre-picked because I wanted to have a cohesive color scheme. And when I'm not sure where I'm going, I like to take colors first. So I have all those colors right there. And yeah, so I worked with the body with the oranges and pinks. And then on the tail, I make it go to like into a gradient of purple. And for the underarms, I decided to go with the like bright cyan, but with a dark blue root because I think that's what is cool. Yeah, that's about it for the color scheme. Oh, and then I went with the bright green for the hair. Not only because it's seaweed, but because I think it's cool. Again. And yeah, that hairstyle is also inspired by some drag queens. Specifically, one wig that Cameron Michaels had is really cool. And yeah, this is one of the least inspired directly by drag queens. It was more inspired by I want to have fun with this, but still. To contextualize, I really like the art of drag because I think it's so cool to like make your body a work of art in that way is so fun. And I really like playing with gender. I think it's so cool when people are on a spectrum, I guess. Like I like when people are not in a box. Like my favorite type of drag queens are definitely the gender fuckers. And if we're talking about the main drag queens from Drag Race, Evie Oddly was one that I really enjoyed. I really like Aquaria. I really like the like artsy Gottmik, and we're going to Gottmik in a minute. But yeah, so that's my favorite type of dragon, and that's what I tried to show in that one drawing. Alright, so for a second one that I did actually I actually did Gottmik. Okay, so before I go into the drawing and specifically, I just want to say that I fucking love Gottmik. I think she was a revolution on Drag Race and in the world of drag in general. Not only was Cade a trans man competing as a drag queen, but also as a drag queen, Gottmik was so interesting. Her story was so cool. And her aesthetic is so cool. I really like the makeup she has, which is the main part, but also every piece that is ever created for her seems to be thought so thoroughly, and I really enjoy it. So for the art piece, I actually decided to go with this art is basically just a love letter to Gottmik, as I did last year. I did it for Evie Oddly. 2 years ago I did it for Evie Oddly. Last year I did one of Evie Oddly, but I did a couple. I did Sasha Velour. I did one piece that was inspired by the Vixen. Yeah, I can show them here. Gottmik was so cool, and it was really interesting to see her perspective as a drag queen that is also a trans man. By the way, I'm using she, her when I'm talking about the drag queen persona because that's what they prefer to be referred to. But if I'm talking about Cade, the person, I will be referring to him as he, him, just so we're clear. But yeah, since Gottmik has been on Drive and Drag, I believe, recently, her outfits are so cool. I really like this like rock aesthetic that is like kind of inspired by Kiss. It's when I saw this picture that I was really excited about like doing this, and it's definitely inspired by it, like to a T. And then I saw that she had a red wig, so I changed the color to be, at first I wanted to be monochromatic except for the eyes, but then I saw that Gottmik had a red wig, so I thought it was cool to be like white and black except for the hair. Yeah, so I tried to mimic the makeup, which was harder than I thought it was, but it was also, because on a drawing it's harder to have like the right proportions, but also like because it's easy to go too small, which sounds weird, but since you're drawing, I always draw like bigger eyes, so sometimes you need to really exaggerate it for it to look cool, which was a problem in the third drawing that we're coming out in a bit. And I tried to do in the background, I tried to do some pink, blues, and lighter shades, a little callback to the trans flag, not directly, but just enough to be fun. And yeah, I tried to replicate the aesthetic. As for Gottmik as a queen, I thought her story on season 13 was so interesting. She had so much fun, and it was so cool to see. And her finale look was the best look I had ever seen on this stage. It was so inspiring. I'm glad that, spoiler alert, I'm really glad that Simone won, because Simone was also great and revolutionary on her own front. But Gottmik was so good, and I know that Gottmik is gonna go far. I just know it, and I can't wait to see where she goes as a drag queen, because it's gonna be so cool to see the evolution of someone that is already so polished and cool. That's it. So the footage is gonna end, and I'm going to move on to the third one. Alright, so for the third piece, I used the same thing I do every year. So for 3-ish years now, basically every time I do a mermaid, I'm making sure to use at least one day to draw Ursula. Ursula is my favorite Disney character at all. Like, Disney villain for sure, my favorite. But in all of Disney canon, I think Ursula is my favorite. There are multiple reasons for that. Like, Ursula is a strong, powerful woman. Not only is she strong and powerful, but she's fat, and it's really cool because it's made up to like laugh at fat people, but it's not. I don't feel like it is. If that makes sense. Like, I feel like she is strong and she's powerful, and the fact that she's plus size and fat is not played for laughs. She is confident in her body, which I think is super cool. Don't forget the power of body language. Ha. So yeah, every time I do her, and I'm gonna show the evolution of the years here. And since I started, I always draw her as a drag queen. It might seem weird to people who don't know Disney history, but Ursula was actually based on Divine, which is a legendary drag queen. If you know a little bit about drag and drag history, you probably know about Divine, just because she was iconic. She was not. People didn't like Divine very much because she's the one who famously said,
Could you give us some of your political beliefs?
Kill everyone now. Condone first-degree murder. Advocate cannibalism. Eat shit. Filth are my politics. Filth is my life. Take whatever you like.
Yes.
she is really funny. She is not PG at all. And yeah, so I always draw her as a drag queen because to pay homage to Divine, but also because Ursula is so queer coded, as most Disney villains are, honestly. That was actually my final for one of my class this semester. I did a 10-page essay on the history of queer coding in Disney movies, Disney villains particularly. So if you want, I could always like do a longer type video drawing Disney villains and explain why they're queer coded. It has been done a lot. I'm gonna link up Rowan Ellis's YouTube channel down there if you want to do more research, because she is super helpful, and the way she explains it is really, really cool. But yeah, so Ursula is queer coded as fuck. She is based on a drag queen. She is cool. She's powerful. And she's a businesswoman. I really, really love Ursula, and I love her design. Side note, if you are an artist and want to draw Ursula, please do, and if you do, draw her fat, please. That's the only thing I'm gonna ask to anyone who wants to draw Ursula. Don't make her thin. If you want to make a thin octopus woman, draw Morgana, her thin sister from the second movie. Like, I have no problem, but please don't thinify Ursula. Honestly, just pull up a reference of a plus-size model and go off of that. Don't draw her thin, or like, even chubby. I think it's not cool. Like, please. But yeah, so, her makeup is definitely inspired a lot by, I'd say, a mix between Trixie Mattel, Kimchi, yeah, definitely a mix between them both, with some aesthetics of Crystal Method a little, you know, so like, the white underline, the massive eyeliner, and this is actually what I was talking about. On a real person, this look would be bonkers, but since it's on a drawing, it doesn't look that intense, which is really surprising, but really fun. Yeah, at this point I've drawn Ursula and that makeup so many times that it's kind of like really easy for me to just like, I know where everything goes, so it's not a problem for me. Every year I try, the first year I drew her as a little younger, like nicer, because I really like the lore around Ursula, like in the musical and in the tie-in books, where she is Triton's sister. Which I think is really cool. And also in the movie, she says that she used to live in a palace, so that's kind of like what was my inspiration 2 or 3 years ago. Then last year I drew her in a very intense scene where she's just like stealing the voice, and now this year I wanted to draw in the final act when she has the trident. And yeah, I redesigned the trident in the crown just because I think it was cool to redesign it as I wish. And yeah, so it was really fun. I had a lot of fun with the shadows as usual. I really liked the lighting in this. And yeah, so that's it. Here's a montage of the 3 finished pictures. So thank you for watching. Again, those were the only 3 mermaid pieces I'm doing this year. Although I'm considering the idea of doing a piece a day, like a challenge this summer, potentially, because I'm not gonna work that much this summer. So that could be cool. I don't know what I would do actually, but that's always an idea. And yeah, that's about it. I am currently working on the next video, which I think is gonna be a character design video from a franchise that I loved as a kid. Wings is still coming soon. Angel has finals and they really want to be here, so I'm waiting for them. And yeah, that's about it. So thanks for watching. As a reminder, the music in this video were both from either the music library from YouTube or from my friend that is linked in bio, that is my music guy. Feel free to go follow them on Instagram. So thanks for watching and see you soon.